corner kick, but they've certainly, between those two, they've got enough to score, haven't they? Really?
Well, they've got enough to win a game, haven't they? Single-handedly, but before late goal, Mignolet and Pickford will want to not follow suit at either end. They'll want a clean sheet to the very end, and hope their two sides can do the business in the attacking zones. As Lovren, bit of tempo dropping now. Liverpool happy to out themselves and dominate the possession stats, but of course it moved a little. Southampton had 20 minutes against the Gunners. They won the look after 3 minutes. So it just shows you that will feel with Sigurdsson, Rooney, Niasse, Calvert-Lewin, they've got something in the bank to go and get the goal. The confidence is high. They dropped everybody for the midweek win in the Europa League. Liverpool didn't, but they've rested players today. If you're only just tuning in, 16 minutes gone as Oxlade-Chamberlain whips it out to the left-hand side for Robertson, who's pulling Rooney wide. And I think that's one of the best tactics that Klopp's employed. He seems to be targeting Rooney in this central midfield role. As Henderson has it once again, they're going to go back to Rooney's side with Milner. Milner again, just a bit more crisp at Liverpool's movement. It's all a bit static. There's 4 red shirts on the edge of the area still doing very little. As Milner now goes wide to Robertson, Mane goes in behind. Can Robertson attack that space? He can't. Milner again. And while this is good from Liverpool keeping possession, you've got to praise Everton, John, for their shape, because no one's budging.
No, it's right. They all Calvert-Lewin does really well there. Oh. Wow, I mean, for me, he outstrengthened Dejan Lovren there. He looks back at referee, shakes his head. Well, he might.
Way. Says no way, and he's absolutely spot on. That's never a free kick. He jumps up, wins the header against Lovren and Klavan. He might be slightly behind Lovren.
Lovren just overruns it there for me. I mean, and Calvert-Lewin battles with him. You know, shoulder to shoulder, 6 and 2 3s. For me, it shouldn't have been a free kick.
Yeah, I mean, I'm a big fan of Calvert-Lewin. I think in there, one thing I had a problem with Unsworth doing was he didn't start him enough. He seemed to keep dropping him now and again, and he's their main output. But since they didn't sign a striker, I don't think Sandro's the answer, especially not in the Premier League. As you see Oxlade-Chamberlain now down the right hand side, he zips past Martina too easily. Henderson has it. Salah's open to the
but they need a few more outballs than we're seeing from them, and but here come Liverpool again.
Oh, great challenge there from Martina to stop Mane. A long looping ball forward. Oh, Niasse is trying to get in behind Gomez, and Gomez doesn't put a foot wrong. Talk about top quality positioning skills to make sure, because if he's out of position, Niasse is in behind and running at that vulnerable back.
Use that, and in this game it will be different because I don't think that anything will change in this game until the final whistle from the match plan of the other side, and that's makes it, it will be hard work. I have no problem with that. I like it. That's derby. There's no favorite in that derby. It's and very often in life it was like this, that the team everybody spoke very positive about before, like you do now about us and the other team, who is actually in a really positive run as well. They won the last 3 games now in a row, with the game last night with, I don't know, 15 changes or something.
Moments towards Salah, who's touched his paw, and he just bobbles and gets frustrated as the snow continues.
did a job. Sam Allardyce didn't even bother going, as we see a big mistake there from Ashley Williams, and as Liverpool get on the front foot. Sam Allardyce didn't go to Limassol. I think he had a doctor's appointment, something like that. But they made 11 changes. They won that game anyway, 3-0. And players like Ademola Lookman have put themselves forward. He's on the bench today. Snidling played in that game, again only on the bench. He's got 11, fit and raring to go players. Liverpool played their best team and have rested half of the good ones. No disrespect, but players like Oxlade-Chamberlain, even Henderson have not that much game time. Playing Robertson today. Again, the centre-back pairing was the same as in midweek. So, do you remember the cup final where, he played his team in the midweek before that in a game that didn't matter in Europe? We saw Coutinho getting his legs kicked off, and for some reason, I think he's got a blind spot. And it's almost like I'll do what I want,
Yeah, it's just. The thing is, if he gets the job right today, then both. But this is a game where stereotypically you can't afford to rest your best troops. Sam Allardyce on the touchline. Allardyce wearing the headset, so the earpiece. Obviously got someone upstairs giving him some instructions. Jurgen Klopp smiles on the touchline as Everton with Wayne Rooney plod forward. It's into Davis, whose touch is poor, and he allows Milner to nip back in. Milner receives the ball and gives it straight back to Davis before then upending him in midfield. And Everton wanted to play on, but a free kick is given. Davis is down on the deck holding the thigh, and potential dead leg to start the afternoon, and it's cold, so that's going to hurt as well.
Yeah, not half. For me, Milner with a rugged Derby Day challenge. I mean,
but whether he's got it in him to help his team win a Merseyside derby, that remains to be seen. And the 5 minutes gone, and still to really have a meaningful attack as Henderson just plods around the midfield, and it's going to have to be his job to unlock the midfield and defence for Liverpool, because that's going to be a rigid structure this season. And looking at starting 11 changes in the Premier League, Jurgen Klopp has made 20 more changes than the next team. He's made 59. That's an incredible amount, and we're not even at Christmas.
Yeah, it's an awful lot. Behind them, West Ham, and they were a team who couldn't find the right structure, the right formation at all. He says he trusts his squad, but I trust his judgment a little less than that, I think.
Yeah, see how it works today. I mean,
they might win because Everton aren't world beaters, are they? And I still think Sam Allardyce is picking up the threads. I think Unsworth actually got the ball rolling to settle them down. He'll get no credit for that, but I thought he's actually settled them down into a bit of a shape. And I agree that Wayne Rooney's got to play deeper in this team as well. He's not an out-and-out striker anymore.
Yeah, ball played forward. Pickford gets barged into by Solanke, and just a bit of handbags, and Solanke possibly could have avoided him, but it's a derby, and if he can get into no offence to him this season. He did score against the Hammers the other week, and he did produce a better performance performance last week.
Tom, I'm sure he won't take any offence. You said he's awful.
No, looping ball forward. I think it's one of those, isn't it? It's pretty hard to see a man that was a one-man army at Swansea. He was brilliant, no offence. He was brilliant for Swansea. And then he's come here and he hasn't settled. And then just this year, everything he seemed to do just didn't work.
Well, I think a lot of it is down to keeping yourself in trim. And for me, he started the season like the rest of his team. I thought they were undercooked, and they were, along with West Ham, I think the team who probably did less in pre-season to get themselves fit. He looked like he was half a stone overweight. And then, if you factor in, and he may just have lost a little bit of form as well, it's taken him ages to get going. There are sort of green shoots of recovery in his play in the last couple of games, but I think he's still the man most likely out in that field to make a mistake today.
Yeah, it's a hope that his legs aren't gone. He can still be a force in the Premier League. You want to see a player on the decline. It's never nice to watch. We see Henderson out from the right to the left now, looking for Robertson, who's hugging that touchline. Milner's overlapping the run. Robertson tries to swing in and whip it round the back of Rooney, but runs out of ideas, Robertson. And I think because it's the early stages, he wants to do something meaningful rather than just turn around and start again. But that's a lovely play from Solanke to in fact it was. So where's that also that in midfield? In fact, it might be Oxlade-Chamberlain. It was as inside there. That's better from Williams, nipping out as Rooney. Heavy touch from him, but he gets it down the line and tries to get Niasse and Calvert-Lewin away. And what's interesting, John, is that the fact that while we could criticise the team news all day, when Rooney's dropping deep, he's always got Calvert-Lewin and Niasse ahead of him. So there's the speed factor to get in behind Lovren and Klavan. And at the other end, they've got Solanke and Mane. So it's a bit tactical battle, this.
Yeah, it sure is. That's a good thing. I like Wayne Rooney in that Paul Scholes role. I think he can pick a pass, and he can be the difference. I think it's a bold new dawn for him as a more deep line midfielder, and I've seen him do that well. But here's Mane. And at the vital moment, his standing leg goes under him. He's looking for a left foot strike, but the right foot slips underneath him and the chance is gone.
I mean, the one thing there is Rooney misses the interception. He was just a bit slow to react on the edge of the box, the Everton captain, and he just allowed it. I don't think the positioning was bad. I just think he took his eye off the prize and allowed him in, and Mane really should be getting a shot on goal. And you could argue a man of his form when he's at his best, he makes it 1-0, but that's poor from Niasse as Gomez nips in, who's potentially the future of this Liverpool defence. He's been brilliant since coming back from an injury a few months ago. As Salah gets past his man rather fortuitously, floats across to the far post. Is he going to get an assist? Milner drills it across, and Kenny throws himself at it, and Sigurdsson and Davies do enough together to clear their lines. But Salah, how often do we say it? When you're playing well, you get the rub of the green. I mean, he doesn't really do anything. He kicks it against the shin of the Everton left back. I think it was Martina on that far side. It bobbles into his path. It's a lovely cross with his weaker foot. And Milner's unlucky because all he has to do is get it across goal and hope for the best, and he does his best and it's blocked.
I mean, he could have a field day today, couldn't he? Again, Martina gets put in, does well. But, Martinez, he's having a go with his right boot there. His out comes Mignolet. And he's very close to not getting that. I mean, he's taking a real risk there, and if Niasse could just winkle that ball round him, he maybe toe pokes it into the back of an empty net. It's a big risk for Mignolet.
Certainly is, as we see Niasse just looking to Mignolet to say, are you okay? Never wants to see a opposition pro injured, but he's on his way, on his bike, and he's attacking. I mean, Mignolet, in fact, shows good pace, but I was just going to say, Niasse was running to the corner flag. I mean, unless Lovren slips, Niasse is having to go for a cross at best. So I don't really understand the desire to come flying out, and he wants to keep warming up. But just keep yourself to yourself, but keep yourself alert and sharp. As we see something gone wrong on the far side. Referee's pointing to the touchline. I think he's actually just saying the free kick. He wanted it to be started again, and Gomez at right back does just that for him. 10 minutes gone, 10 and a half, should I say. Liverpool 0-0 with Everton, and doing their very best to break them down. Everton, I don't think, are bothered about the possession stats, are they, today?
No, they won't, but they look like they're going to try and pick a pocket on the counter-attack, and, well, they might. But it's up to Liverpool then to break them down. Liverpool like to play a different game. They do play juggernaut football, but they like to counter-attack themselves, so it's not exactly set up for them to shine, is it? However, this team may be good enough to break them down anyway. Liverpool have the ball. We'll have a bit of a recap of the start at Anfield. Liverpool are the dominant force so far in terms of possession. They haven't created an awful lot. There's already been a bit of argy-bargy between Milner and Davis in the middle of the park, and that's going to be a key encounter. Battles all over the place. Looks like a tough derby game for Everton. Well, they're looking to hit on the counter-attack. They've got pace there with Niasse and Calvert-Lewin yet to spring them, really, although we saw Mignolet run out to Niasse when he got the ball. One half chance for Mane so far. His standing leg slipped as he was about to pull a trigger, and so it's still 0-0.
It is. Robertson was the last man, as John gives an update, to nip in behind there and cross it for a teammate, but Kenny intercepted it. It's good play from Solar as well. He realises that the two bodies at the near post had no chance, so he wrapped his foot around it and aimed for Milner at the far stick and got it inch perfect. But Everton's scrambling defence did the damage as Rooney's headed it straight into Oxlade-Chamberlain. Here's Mane. Solanke's forward. There's Salah. Salah turns onto his stronger left foot. Can he pick a shot out? He tries. It's low and hard. There is Oxlade-Chamberlain. Drills it towards goal. Kenny deflects it away, and it's only as far as Rooney, who's going to put his foot up and under and clear it straight out for a throw-in. And just slices it where what he wanted to do there. Allardyce is screaming at Everton there, not happy. He wants everyone coming across. Fuming, in fact, Sam Allardyce at the marking up on that set piece, as we see the ball back in with Solanke to Milner. First time passes on to Robertson. Oh, he just can't get it in his stride, and Williams does enough alongside Davis and Kenny. But the tempo's good. It's not a Merseyside derby over the years we've seen with strong, horrible challenges, with people like leaving the bodies in, which I'm not saying you don't want to see. You want to see guts, determination. But the tempo is good. The snow aspect, the fact it's cold, the fact that the ground might stiffen up, and it's just got everything to it for a bit of a stands for 10 seconds moaning at everyone around him. If he's the only out-and-out centre-forward today, he's got to be on his back and getting it back, because they're going to have to do some running. And Calvert-Lewin's going to do it all day long. Niasse has to get that. And Niasse is brilliant at it normally. I don't know why after only 10 minutes he was throwing a strop.
I don't know. They've got to support each other today. I mean, he's got to do almost a Jamie Vardy. I watched him yesterday. He did nothing for ages, and then I saw him chasing back to stop the opposition scoring. Next minute, he's in the opposition box and he creates what is the winning goal. Here come Liverpool. A chance for Mane. He's got good feet, hasn't he? And between him and Salah, they've got a potent threat. There's the shot. He's blocked, and that will be a corner kick. But they've certainly, between those two, they've got enough to score, haven't they? Really?
Well, they've got enough to win a game, haven't they, single-handedly? But
after that, Mane broke free. Williams jumped out of the line. Mane should have squared it, didn't, so it's 1-0. Half time in the Merseyside derby at Anfield. Liverpool 1, Everton 0. Liverpool have been the better team, but couldn't get a shot on target until the goal, which came late in the half. Mo Salah on the Marseille turned away from Cucho Martina, then drifted inside Gay, was stood up by Williams, curled the ball round him, and Jordan Pickford into the back of the Everton net. They should have been 2-0 up straight after that. Mane broke free. Williams jumped out of the line. Mane should have squared it, didn't, so it's 1-0. Half time in the Merseyside derby at Anfield. Liverpool 1, Everton 0. Liverpool have been the better team but couldn't get a shot on target until the goal, which came late in the half. Mo Salah on the half turn, little Marseille turn away from Cucho Martina, and then drifted inside Idrissa Gueye, was stood up by Williams, curled the ball around him, and Jordan Pickford in to the back of the Everton net. They should have been 2-0 up straight after that. Mane broke free. Williams jumped out of the line. Mane should have squared it, didn't, so it's 1-0. Half time in the Merseyside derby at Anfield. Liverpool 1, Everton 0. Liverpool have been the better team but couldn't get a shot on target until the goal, which came late in the half. Mo Salah on the half turn, little Marseille turn away from Cucho Martina, and then drifted inside Idrissa Gueye, was stood up by Williams, curled the ball around him, and Jordan Pickford in to the back of the Everton net. They should have been 2-0 up straight after that. Mane broke free. Williams jumped out of the line. Mane should have squared it, didn't, so it's 1-0. Half time in the Merseyside derby at Anfield. Liverpool 1, Everton 0. Liverpool have been the better team but couldn't get a shot on target until the goal, which came late in the half. Mo Salah on the half turn, Marseille turn away from Cucho Martina, and then drifted inside Idrissa Gueye, was stood up by Williams, curled the ball around him, and Jordan Pickford in to the back of the Everton net. They should have been 2-0 up straight after that. Mane broke free. Williams jumped out of the line. Mane should have squared it, didn't, so it's 1-0. Half time in the Merseyside derby at Anfield. Liverpool 1, Everton 0. Liverpool have been the better team but couldn't get a shot on target until the goal, which came late in the half. Mo Salah on the half turn, little Marseille turn away from Cucho Martina, and then drifted inside Idrissa Gueye, was stood up by Williams, curled the ball around him, and Jordan Pickford in to the back of the Everton net. They should have been 2-0 up straight after that. Mane broke free. Williams jumped out of the line. Mane should have squared it, didn't, so it's 1-0. Half time in the Merseyside derby at Anfield. Liverpool 1, Everton 0. Liverpool have been the better team but couldn't get a shot on target until the goal, which came late in the half. Mo Salah on the half turn, little Marseille turn away from Cucho Martina, and then drifted inside Idrissa Gueye, was stood up by Williams, curled the ball around him, and Jordan Pickford in to the back of the Everton net. They should have been 2-0 up straight after that. Mane broke free. Williams jumped out of the line. Mane should have squared it, didn't, so it's 1-0. Half time in the Merseyside derby at Anfield. Liverpool 1, Everton 0. Liverpool have been the better team but couldn't get a shot on target until the goal, which came late in the half. Mo Salah on the half turn, little Marseille turn away from Cucho Martina, and then drifted inside Idrissa Gueye, was stood up by Williams, curled the ball around him, and Jordan Pickford in to the back of the Everton net. They should have been 2-0 up straight after that. Mane broke free. Williams jumped out of the line. Mane should have squared it, didn't, so it's 1-0.